So we get another opportunity for a baseline drive as I'm heading back up the California coast. Yesterday, Positive Coaching Alliance took me to Morro Bay in Central California. This morning, I was in San Ysidro, which is on the border of California and Mexico. So about 450 miles away from Morro Bay. Tomorrow I get to come back down to San Diego. So Positive Coaching Alliance is up and down the California coast, making an impact anywhere we can go. And anytime I'm on the road, it gives me a chance to think and talk. And last time I discussed the magic ratio and the 5-to-1 positive memories to criticisms and corrections. Kind of got a good feedback and some comments from a bunch of people that I respect. And it made me think about what really is a positive memory. What kind of things do coaches and people do that creates positive memories? And we said that it's not just the things that you say, it's all of the other stuff that might resonate with somebody in a positive way. And I was talking to coaches and parents over the last 2 days about creating as many positive memories for their kids as they can. And from a team perspective, it came down to a bunch of different things. From the organizational level with leaders, when they provide organized leagues that function properly and are well done, happen on time, properly administrated, good officials, nice uniforms, trophies, events, opening ceremonies, closing ceremonies, all those things are things that kids remember positively at the end of a sports season. So they count in this 5-to-1 ratio. Coaches, obviously, the things that they do and say, but how they run practice and whether they make practice fun or not, whether they foster relationships between teammates, how they make sure that those teammates communicate with each other. All of those things count as well. And then parents, when they get in the car ride home, how they handle that post-game analysis with their child is crucial when it comes to the 5-to-1 ratio. You know, there are going to be some days when it just doesn't go very well. And there's going to be a lot of errors and mistakes and setbacks and failures and losses. And those might be categorized in the negative category in a child's mind. Coach might have to make a lot of corrections and criticisms. And so that ratio might be kind of negative at that point. And parents, after the game, have a tendency, myself included sometimes, to be over-analytical and dwell on the negative stuff. And that just makes the ratio even worse. When in reality, all those things that occurred, there's nothing that we can do about them, so we need to make up for them. When it's really, really a negative day and there's been a lot of those setbacks, those are the days when we need to be more positive after the game and go have ice cream, go have pizza, have a gathering. Our all-star team this past off-season finished the season in a double elimination tournament with a couple of tough losses. One by a lot of runs where we didn't play so well, and then another really close game that we lost in extra innings. And both of them, I think, hurt equally. And after the game, I felt it was really, really important for the kids to do something to take their mind off of that a little bit and remember each other and remember the important things. So if you were one of the people that happened to follow us during the season, you remember the van rides and the singing and going ape for their teammates, right? Acknowledging their ability, praising their performance, and encouraging each other after errors. We go ape for our teammates. That helps create that positive ratio. But on the big loss where we lost by a lot of runs, we went to downtown San Diego and went to a historic barbecue place that was used in the movie Top Gun. And we had a good time and saw some crazies from Comic-Con. And then the next loss ended the season. Kids kind of wanted to go home. But we went to a pizza place, and the closest pizza place to the field that we went to was called the Better Days Pizza Bar and Grill. And that couldn't have been more appropriate because there had been better days. And by the time the kids were done hanging out for an hour and playing with each other and playing pool and air hockey, they were horsing around in the parking lot. And I actually heard my son turn to one of his friends and say, today was the best loss ever. Because they got to experience each other and remember the relationships that they had. And those are the memories that are created that make kids really feel like their season was special. Boston College basketball this year had a really bad season in league. They went 0-19. They lost 18 games in a row, lost the first game in the ACC tournament. And in a post-game press conference, snarky media guy asked one of the players, what could you possibly take away from an 0-19 season? And he was kind of sarcastic and kind of negative, and the player from Boston College looked down at the podium, and he couldn't answer because he was getting choked up, and finally he looked up at the camera and he said, I'm going to miss going out to eat. And after everything, after all of the competing against the best teams in the country, the national champion, future NBA players, he just had 19, 23 points, something like that in the final game. He's not going to remember any of that. But what's important and what he's going to miss is going out to eat with his buddies. So those positive memories that we can create are crucial. And it goes as far as parents and team moms taking pictures of their kids for them to remember. We were on a Little League team several years ago, and the first meeting, the team mom said, every game I'm going to take a bunch of pictures and I'm going to upload them to our team website. And I thought maybe she was a little crazy and took it a little serious. Team had a website. Now they didn't really. It was it was a Facebook page. And she'd take 100, 200 pictures every game. And I came to like them. It was kind of neat. Son had a bad game one day. He struck out twice, once looking. So I'm going through the drive-thru to get dinner after the game. My wife takes my son home to do her homework. Life of a sports parent, right? And as I'm going through the drive-thru, my phone buzzes and I get a text. And I pick it up and I open it and it says, Tyler's crying in the back seat. He thinks he played a horrible game. And so I answered the text. And I was in the drive-thru, so I can answer the text. And I said, well, that's okay. It just means he cares. So I ordered my food, and I'm going through the line, and the phone buzzes again. And the text says, he says to leave me alone. And we talk a lot about talking to them when they're ready to be spoken to and their emotional schedule. So I answered back, well, remember his emotional schedule. And I went up to get my food. And right before I picked up my food, the phone buzzes again. And I picked it up, and in capital letters, it says, what about my emotional schedule? And as parents, sometimes we just want to fix it. And we reach for straws and try to fix it any way we can. And the analysis and the talking about it sometimes is the worst thing we could do. So I brought dinner home. Tyler took his food, went to the bedroom, did his homework. He came back out and he said, Dad, can we look at the pictures? So we went and started looking at the Facebook pictures. And at about picture 22, he was all smiles again, because every picture had a smiling face in the dugout. Kids were having a good time. All the plays looked like they were successful on pictures. And he forgot all of those negative moments. He forgot the 2 strikeouts, and he remembered all of the positive things. So he replaced all of those positive memories, and he fixed the magic ratio to way more than 5-1. And that season kind of catapulted him to his love for the game, and really kind of laid a foundation for some of the things that he's doing. But it all happens because we try to make sure that kids have 5 times as many positive memories as criticisms and corrections. Go out of your way and strive for 5. It's a lot easier than you think. Be great. Coach Loke, out.